And I went over there and I saw the incubation, the thing where they...
Laryngoscope?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, did y'all end up intubating him? She said, yeah, before he left on the helicopter.
Brandon's telling me about a really bad patient he saw yesterday. This poor man.
He's 47.
Oh.
And he was overweight, but still.
Does he have a family? I mean, it doesn't
he
matter.
says, I heard his wife is home same way. He's at home.
This guy ended up having an oxygen of Brandon said like 50. I mean, we put oxygen on you when you're at 94.
He finally got up when he left. Like, I saw, I'm in and out of the EMT.
I mean, as an EMT, that's the rule. Go ahead.
He got up to 70.
That's good.
Yeah.
After intubation?
No, before.
I wonder what they gave him. They probably gave him steroids to open his lungs.
But I talked to the pharmacist there, and they have this medicine that they give COVID patients. He said it was the same drug that Trump got. I don't know what it's called.
Ivermectin. It was either ivermectin or hydrocolloquin.
No, not hydrocolloquin.
So it must have been ivermectin. That's interesting because when I talk to a therapist or a pharmacist, he says that they're literally finding no research that it helps.
There was 2 of them, he said, not hydrochloroquine. He said 2 of them. He said he said he'd rather get the other one because one of them was like $500.
Ivermectin, believe it or not, is a parasite medication. It's what we use in the veterinary world to get rid of worms. That's really interesting to me because I'm trying to figure out why on earth would that work on COVID. And I really am trying to make the connections medically and I can't.
I know, because that is the difference between pneumonia and flu and all this is COVID. Their x-rays, like they have no...
The runaway pneumonia.
Coming from just the x-ray, I don't know much. I'm not a radiologist, but just looking at COVID x-rays, it's like, and difference between COVID x-rays and pneumonia x-rays, COVID x-rays.
You mean bacterial pneumonia? There's bacterial pneumonia, there's viral pneumonia, and there's COVID pneumonia. Those are the 3 different ones. COVID pneumonia is very different from the other 2 pneumonias, right?
Yeah.
It's a quicker onset.
And
It's flat. From what I understand, there's something called flash. Well, it's called something else, but what we call it in the EMT field is, they're flashing, which means that it's almost like a flood of mucus really quickly that will fill up the lungs. Like that. It can happen in old people for a specific reason, but that's what I'm thinking medically. I've been trying to do some research if that's what's going on with COVID and why they go downhill so fast because of that flash. Like 1 minute they're okay, and then all of a sudden the body just goes, oh, and within an hour, if they've or less, they can flash up those lungs, and it's like a flash flood of mucus.
A lot of these people that are worse, that come in worse, they know they have COVID.
Yeah.
And then finally they have to come in because they can't breathe.
Now, is it quick? Is that what they're telling you? That's my question, because that would be the flash. Or is it just gradual and they just can't breathe?
Another patient later, she knew she had COVID, and she said she just got done with her antibiotics or whatever, but she still have trouble breathing.
Because the antibiotics don't touch the COVID pneumonia. It's very scary, guys. And this is coming from a husband that last year told me I was overreacting all the time, and now that, I know I'm not being mean to you, but we would have debates at home about what's safe and what we need to be doing to keep me alive and my son alive, my diabetic.
Vitamin C,
zinc, vitamin D, and selenium. Selenium actually works on your thyroid, which I find very interesting as well, as they're recommending that. Elderberry. If you go on Amazon, I had a nurse tell me this the other day, and I've actually ordered some for our children, and I don't believe that with my thyroid issues I can take, or lupus, it's one or the other, and I need to do the research. Don't quote me on this, but I have in the past done research that told me not to do elderberry. Now, I cannot remember if that's because of my lupus or if it's because of my thyroid. I'll have to check. I think it's a lupus thing. I think it has to do with autoimmunity because elderberry boosts your immune system. So that's where I think that's combined. But you can go on Amazon and look up immune support supplements, and you can find things with all of those things in there. Now, what I did tell Brandon is that we need to know dosing on those things. How much zinc should be in that supplement? How much vitamin C? How much vitamin D? And how much selenium? We need to talk to our ER doctor about that. So we'll get back to y'all on that.
Because that's all he does.
That's what he puts on, right? Yeah.
He does it himself. He doesn't get the shot.
Well, he had COVID.
Right.
He has a natural immunity. That's what I get angry about. People aren't talking about natural immunity enough. Go ahead.
Before COVID, he still took it. As soon as he heard all this coming out, he put his whole family on these vitamins.
Well, that's the first thing that we did.
Yeah.
You picked up all of that for me. The problem is that I went so downhill that I had to go on other things, and I couldn't get all those supplements in as well because I was throwing everything up.
And he still got it, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah. He only lost his sense of taste and smell, right?
Right.
And he got quarantined. Now, I will try to get the dosage on those supplements for you guys because I think it's very important to get these supplements in your body, and that's what I'm going to be giving to my children as well. I'm going to make sure that Mason and I are okay to take elderberry because he has an autoimmune disease as well.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C for sure, at least 1,000 units, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the rest.
Because I'm also reading this general surgeon study on tobacco smoke for a continuing education credit.
Yeah.
And it talks a lot about how it's amazing how smokers, they're, I don't know all the science, but it says as soon as they start taking vitamin C, it looks better.
Their lungs? What are you saying looks better? I would assume lungs, because that's what I think with smokers.
Something about all the chemicals and oxidative stress that they put on their body.
Oh, so they detox themselves with vitamin C.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
We'll look it up.
It says because they get a lot of free radicals smoking.
Free radicals. Y'all should look up free radicals.
Yeah.
And then if you really want, one thing I think is keeping us alive, and this is just my opinion, me and my autoimmune son is LifeVantage Pro Tandem. The NRF1 actually works on free radicals on a cellular level and inflammation in the body all over. So anyway, if you want that information, let us know. So I know it was another COVID talk, but we're driving to the storage unit and this came up. And so I thought I'd go ahead and give y'all the info on what we're seeing here in Carrollton, Kentucky. I was wrong. The whole football team, according to one parent who corrected me meanly, said that it is not the entire football team that has COVID, but that one confirmed case, but that everyone else is has been exposed. So I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see.
Or is it